respected Vice Chancellor of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology, respected panelists, and other distinguished audience of this 3-day webinar. We, all the teachers and students who are the major stakeholders of education, and in the pandemic situation, we are very much familiar with these two pictures. One is the empty classroom, another is the e-learning facility. In this pandemic situation, naturally, if we merge up these two figures or the pictures, the question arises that what will be the pedagogical method or the teaching learning method in this paradigm shift of 2020 year, which will help us to make a better educational scenario for the new age learners. Welcome you all on behalf of the School of Digital Pedagogy of RCCIIT Kolkata, India. Myself, Arpan Deashi. In this context, take a few minutes to introduce why the School of Digital Pedagogy, or what is the requirement of the school. Is it really necessary or all? If you think that till before the pandemic, we are very much happy with our classroom, fundamental basic science laboratories, computer labs, hardware labs, the group discussion session, projects, training and internship, and ultimately the placement of the students. So where is the need of the School of Digital Pedagogy at RCC Institute of Information Technology? Has it any sort of novel significance? Let's just introspect that every aspect of learning should be accredited. Its outcomes should be measured on a perfect scale. The scale is provided by NAC or NBA or some various agencies. So, how far the conventional teaching learning model is justified to meet the demand of the accreditation as per the Washington Accord? How the learning can be measured with this change in educational perspective, basically in the COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 scenario? How the COVID and the post-COVID scenario really affects the teaching learning performance? At this juncture, the role of School of Digital Pedagogy will become very important. In order to understand the role, better to make a very brief historical timeline journey where we have started with the Gurukul version of education at the historic age, and that we can very easily term today as the education version 1.0. Later, when we are going from our classroom education, and naturally which we are very much familiar with, and with that, with the increasing number of the students, when it goes which is beyond the reach of a faculty, people are going for the version 3.0, and that is the distance learning. But the distance learning, when we are sending the bulk amount of information or the data to every learner, how far they are assimilated, how far they are producing the proper outcome. In this juncture, people are thought that there should be some need of incorporation of the infrastructure with the original teaching learning methodology. And once you are incorporated the infrastructure, we are going for the education version 4.0, which is normally we have seen that students learning online, but that is not limited there. It goes beyond for the farmers, for the laborers, for the people who have make a collaborative learning, for the people of the remote village who have accessed the learning at the middle age of their life, for the technical people who are at the service but still repair their knowledges and has to develop that, and for the skilled laborers also. So in this educational version 4.0, where online learning becomes a new part of this essential learning technology, the questions are raised that is it really substantive? Is it really the substitute, conducive, and effective also? Let's make a very brief comparative study between the earlier three versions of education and the present generation of education. Earlier three versions, the classrooms will be replaced by modernized classroom or digital classroom. The old conventional library will be replaced by ebooks, the Kindle editions, and the normal teaching learning will be replaced by the web-based connections. So the questions, the vital questions read at this juncture, is there any requirement of the classroom? Is there any existence of the teachers after the COVID-19 situation? Is the requirement of the library still exist? Is there any requirement of the institute? Because everybody can learn online and can get certificate. So is it the new normal for the future? If you want to get a solution of these questions, you have to find out what are the pedagogical teaching learning methodologies so far available and prescribed by the researchers in this domain. There are four fundamental teaching learning methodologies which are prescribed are flipped, active, authentic and blended. And let's go a slightly deeper, just digging into every learning aspect and find out which one will be more suitable. Naturally, the flipped learning is always preferred in the COVID-19 situation, which is a better OBE model. Now, where it will be the teacher teaching online, the lectures will be sent as a video material or uploaded in the YouTube. Students in their home comfort zone learning that, and after that they are making a web connection and making the discussion. After the post COVID-19, you can make the classroom discussion forum also. The point is, it really looks bright. The question will be the evaluation of the learner should be problem oriented or should be case study based and not conventional. Whether our universities or the institutes are really prepared for that. Whether the adequate infrastructure is available for all the learners, irrespective of its geographical territories and financial disparities. Whether the equivalent simulation softwares are available for all the science, statistics, mathematics, and the engineering disciplines. This is a really thinking question, and naturally, we have assumed that all students are statistically well prepared for the next discussion session. Is it really possible, considering all the learners are equal? So, if the flipped learning methodology is equally applicable for performance improvement irrespective of any subject, we, the members of the School of Digital Pedagogy, already introspect into deeper, and we have published our work in Social Science Research Network, and that is awarded as the best paper and given by best merit certificate not only by MHRD and AICT but some renowned international bodies also. And whether it is fitted for the revised Bloom taxonomy, that's a critical question. Next, go to the active learning, which is very familiar situation, our old classroom situation. After the instruction, student will make their own project work and they will share the project work in front of members and other bodies. It looks very brighter, but the point is the project should be carried out in small group and all the students or all the learners should contribute significantly. Is it really possible that this statistical measurement should be valid for all the learners? We have introspected that and published our result given below. And all the projects should be properly mentored. Is it really possible? Is it possible to provide the adequate infrastructure for all the industry-based projects? Or the evaluation process would give the maximum weightage of the project work? Till now, no curriculum is prescribed till this moment. This is the 2020 in the month of July, and in India, we can't find any curriculum where project is given to the maximum weightage. We have published our findings to our book chapter in IGI Global. Next comes to the authentic learning, where classroom learning will be blended with the video-based learning, and students will be engaged to their project work, and ultimately they will go for the self-evaluation. It again looks fine. The point is whether they are getting the accurate information for the online browsing and whether the self-evaluation is really impartial. That's food for thought, the questions for all. And we have published our findings based on these questions and assumptions, and that's also available, will be available in the Springer in the year of 2020. And also the question arises with the adequate infrastructure. So, what will be the best practices in the COVID-19? What will be the role of the computational intelligence in adapting the outcome-based education? The solution is obviously the adaptation of blended learning, and we have published our data for the COVID-19 scenario, whatever we found for some research studies, and that will be available in the Elsevier late of this year. So, what will be the blended learning? It's a proportionate mix of the classroom and e-learning, where the classroom learning will be mixed with YouTube, the presentation of the projects of the students, e-library, original library, which we are mostly accustomed with, the ray of hope I have shown, the virtual labs, the real labs components, the slide share, and that will be the mixture of all the components of the blended learning. The question will be the proportion, which part should give what sort of weightage. So the outcome of the learners, whether is in research domain, whether is for business, for entrepreneurship, or for a job in the service sector, how are they accepted outside our institute campus? And is the outcome is justified with respect to the rest of the world? We may think our outcome is perfect, but how the other people really looks at this juncture, the role of School of Digital Pedagogy is immensely important. The objective of the school is therefore to invoke the appropriate pedagogical techniques based on the diversity of the learners, to provide the students the e-learning facilities. It's a very important for today's perspective. Organize different sort of technical scenarios to cater the needs of the institute and for the development of the teaching learning process, and obviously the research for evaluation of the learning outcome, and that will take the active part for development of the institute itself. So School of Digital Pedagogy is always ready to shake the hands with the departments, and therefore the food for thought, which are the open-ended problems provided by our team members, are that if the flipped classroom is better than the flipped learning at this juncture, whether a perfect amalgamation of the flipped learning with active learning lead to the better outcome compared to the flipped learning technique itself, how far the authentic learning will be justified because of the question of the impartial self-evaluation, which approach can provide better result based on the revised Bloom's taxonomy, because end of the day we have to match with the Washington Accord. So these are our food for thought, and the last question, it will be very vital, which will be a part of our objective of the School of Digital Pedagogy, that will be the role of the MOOC in the COVID-19 situation and will also be the post-COVID-19 scenario. So these are the team members, and we are working under the able guidance of Professor Dr. Anirban Mukherjee, our respected principal sir, and this is our forthcoming publication, will be available in the winter season, will be published by Springer. And we are ready to collaborate with any institute, any like-minded faculties and students for development of both the institute itself. Thank you all.